Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to do a video that I was actually planning for a little while. I wanted to do a comparison versus my old bullet journal that I'd used for about a year and a half, and my B6 Stalogy, which I'm loving and using now. But the more I sat down and thought about that, the more I realized that my Stalogy became everything that this was supposed to become, or that I really intended this to be. And I think a lot of the reason that this became or has become so much more functional and more freeing for me is because when I started this, I had no set expectations with how to use it. I just kind of used it, like I said in my last video, as an open notebook, a plain notebook that I can write everything down. I was going to use dailies for busy days. I was going to put notes, literally everything, and I'll show you that. And then my bullet journal, it was following a pre-planned system. I mean, it was Ryder Carroll's system of, and what does he say about his system? He says it's to track the past, organize the present, and plan the future. And that sounds great, and that's exactly what I wanted it to be. But because there were so many people doing such amazing things with the bullet journal, and I completely understand this is totally my own mental block, I felt the need to stick to specific spreads or a specific way of using it. So if I go through, I have a future log, exactly how it was set up, intended to be. I have my months, how they were intended to be, with a task list, and then I always just put income here, and I do the same in my Stalogy. And then going in my dailies, I had some reference information in the beginning, and then I basically went into my dailies. So I started it really rough. It never got really pretty. Sometimes I'd write nicer headers, but I would just do it how the bullet journal system was. So I would put tasks if I had notes, and then I would continue on the next day. But what I felt with that was I found myself making more, and this I had a packing list. I found this is I doodled. This is as fancy as I got. But I found myself making more just task lists for the day instead of really working through thoughts or planning or even journaling. In here, for instance, this is how my dailies look in my B6 Stalogy. And I'm trying to explain this the best way possible. I allocate, there's no rules in my mind, but I at least want a day per page. So if I don't fill up the entire page, I'll just flip to the next page and do something new on the next page. There are some days that aren't completely full, and I'll just continue to the next page. And I love the idea of being able to completely flip a new page and start over each day. And because I have the entire page at least, I find that I am putting a lot more into it. I'm maybe journaling about that day. This day I journaled because I didn't have as much going on. I found this photo of my husband going through some things. I am making more notes about things. I may be recording other things. And I just find that I don't feel as restricted to the pre-done method of the bullet journal, which is Ryder Carroll's method. And I originally wanted this to become this, but I couldn't fill a day per page in an A5, and I didn't really try. I just did my tasks. If I had important notes, I put that in here. And then what I wound up doing was adding weeklies in here because I like having some sort of weekly overview. And I was in my Hobonichi weeks. Right now, I haven't used it the past week. So for my weekly overview in my Stalogy, I'm kind of doing this. I'm setting it up exactly how the weeks was. So it's a weekly overview with things that I know need to get done on that specific day. And then I just go into my dailies. So each time I do a daily, I just look if there's something here that I need to have done on that day, or if there is something on my weekly task list. So yeah, I wanted to know all of your thoughts on that. And how you think of the bullet journal versus the Stalogy, because I see that there's such a wave in popularity for the Stalogy right now, and I see a lot of people kind of using it similarly, using it as like a brain dump or a inbox or daily pages, and thinking about it compared to how I used my bullet journal for so many months, it really seems like it's exactly how I originally wanted to use my bullet journal. I'm just doing it better in here. And I think a lot of the reason that I'm doing it better in here is because of the size. I'm loving the paper, and I feel just freer to write literally anything and everything in here. I still have a key. I still use like a dot for a task. I'll migrate it forward. So here, let's go through the parts of the bullet journal and how it's in here versus how it was in here. So an index, I've never really used an index. I started to, I never referred to it, so I don't have that in here. But instead of an index, if I need to refer back to something, what I'm doing is just using page flags. So if I know that there's something, a specific note or something I want to refer back to, I just put a flag so I can flip to it. And then at the end of each week, or especially at the end of each month, what I've been doing is, I've only had this for a little over a month, but I'm going back at least every week and checking if those flags are still relevant, if it's something that I maybe need to migrate to a more permanent place. Like right now I have my personal wide rings. So I'll migrate some information into there, or if I'll just keep the flag here so I could refer to it until that project or whatever it is relevant anymore. And then the collections, and collections can be anything, like their lists, projects, mind maps, notes, trackers. So I don't have many collections right now. Again, I'm using the tabs for important notes and things. I added in the back here a future log. So I guess that's part of also the bullet journal method. So my future log looks like this. These months are done. I just printed a printout. I think this is from Peanuts Planner Co. and tipped it in here. And that's how I'm planning specific future dates right now. And then my tracker, the only tracker I'm really keeping track of is my workouts. So I used this, was from So Much Crafting for my personal wide, and I didn't have any way to use it in there, so I tipped it into here, and I'm just marking my workouts there. And those are the two things really only that I have in the back right now. I might add reference information back there if there's something really that I always want to go back to. Okay, so then there's also the monthly log, which is part of the bullet journal method. And my monthly log in here was always the list. So this is what my monthly log always looked like. I had my months listed out, and then my to-dos for the month, and then the income that my husband and I had. I didn't love this. I don't know why I kept doing it, but I just felt that that was what I needed to do, because that's how Ryder Carroll showed his monthly log. But I so much prefer a actual like boxed out monthly, so that's what I drew in here, and I love this so much more. And I'm gonna tab it so I can know that each month starts at the specific tab, and then I can go forward into weeklies and dailies of that month. And then there's also part of it is the daily log, obviously. I mean, that's your day-to-day notes and tasks, and that's what I had here. And what I felt towards the end, especially of me using my bullet journal, was that this is what my weeklies wound up looking like, but I found that I was on a spread or 2 pages forever because I was just using it for tasks like Saturday here I had pay the bank and workout. I wasn't really expanding anything, and I wasn't really using the notebook to its fullest, and I wasn't writing down things that maybe were running through my head, and I've personally found that has helped me tremendously. Is literally just writing everything down. And the fact that I started this notebook with no rules in my own mind, I was able to just do that. I was able to just put down everything that was running through my head that day and help me work through the day or through specific things, or have a place to put all of those random, I guess you call them open-ended, thoughts that you may have. I have to thank SM Plan, Sierra. She really opened my eyes, and I'm sure a lot of people, to the idea of using the Stalogy as just a, I guess, brain dump or place to put all of this. But it's funny how it wound up turning into exactly what I wanted my bullet journal to be. And I think that's it for what is included in a bullet journal and how it's also in here. The only thing, like I said, I add is a weekly page, and I know a lot of people do. And on my weekly page, I just had a weekly review, and it's very similar, like weekly review and then things in the future. So that was always like what was going to happen next week. And this is what my weeklies look like now. This week is crazy. I can't wait until I'm done with this week. But yeah, I wanted to know all of your thoughts on it, and how I know a lot of people have tried the bullet journal method and how they're applying it into their different notebooks and even into like ring binders and things like that. I just found it interesting that once I actually wanted to compare the two, because I used this for so long, how they were so similar, and how just changing size and being in a notebook that I was more inspired in allowed me to take full advantage of, I think, the intention that Ryder Carroll had with creating his bullet journal method. I hope that all came across correctly in my mind. It made sense to me. I was just trying to have this conversation with all of you and see what your thoughts about it were and how you're using your Stalogy. I know some people use it to just journal or to do different things, but the majority of people I've seen have been using it kind of similarly to how I have, or how Sierra from SM Plans has, which is a daily pages or mind mapping, brain dumping, however you want to call it. But I've loved using this. I love having all the space for each day. It's fun. I can decorate each day differently or not decorate it at all. And I've loved flipping back through it. It's easy to find things for me that I need to reference with just little flags. And yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I'm loving my Giglio cover. And yeah, I mean, that's it. So if you have any questions or want to continue the conversation, please do so down below in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you all, and thanks so much for watching. Take care, guys. Bye.